Hi, it's Steve H here, and I'm here with Faye Hambor. We actually had a discussion re this yesterday, and I thought it was a really relevant topic to do a webinar on, just to show people what's going on with the social media, what people are doing right, and what people are doing wrong. I think that this generally as a media is so underused and misunderstood. It's unbelievable, and yet the opportunities, as we said yesterday, Faye, I don't think there's ever been an opportunity that we've ever seen like we've got in front of us right now, mainly because of the take-up of social media in general, not just Facebook, just across the line, across the spectrum of including YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn or whatever. I just happen to think that right now that Facebook is the medium that's going to get people the most results because it's getting the most amount of minutes online, and it just comes down to common sense. I mean, that's what really we were talking about yesterday, Faye, isn't it? Is
Yes.
how relevant is this to the everyday business, and people are underestimating it, thinking that it's just where people chat and put up pictures and or stories or whatever they did yesterday, and that's so far from the truth. It's unbelievable. So
Well, you've actually you've given me an insight into its special ability to get to people easily, and I didn't understand the power of it. I mean, until you just pointed out it's way more than just social chit chat.
yeah, well, you've got to look at this is people are spending so much time on this. So if you can figure out how to be able to start interacting with them, and that's the point, to start interacting with them in a correct way for your particular purpose, right? Now, let's face it, when you build a fan page, what are you building it for? And I think that's the question that people need to ask themselves first. Look, the standard question would be, well, because to get more business, or because I need to, or because of whatever. What
Yes.
you need to back up and figure out, what are you trying to do with that page? Are you trying to build a brand? Are you trying to get email addresses, which I'll cover you with, which is a mistake that people aren't doing? They need to be gathering email addresses to start communicating, and depending on the business, right? Or are they offering super offers to get people to buy, impulse buy on the page as they're accessing it, and that's the difference, And the other thing is that people are mistaking a lot of likes on their page, which makes them feel good about their page and everything else, but it's not getting them business. So they have to really dissect down to what they're trying to do with the page. Does that make sense, right?
Yes, totally. And I could understand your comment about, just the likes makes people feel as though their page is successful. But
Yeah.
as you say, that's only step one.
I mean, the common thing with this is that people think, oh, we need a Facebook page. Everybody else has got one. So they get somebody in the office or whatever, they build the page, they get 50 likes, they get 100 likes, they get 200 likes or whatever, and they're posting fairly regularly, and they're not seeing instant results to this because they're not attacking it the right way, or they're not approaching it the right way. And they're expecting that the minute they put it up there that people are going to start, buying stuff. It doesn't work that way. It can do if you plan it properly. You can get instant results, or pretty close to instant results with a certain approach. But if you don't, you need to know what that approach needs to be. Again, getting back to the fact is, are you building a brand? Are you building an email list, or an area where you're getting rapport and interacting with your potential clients, or are you looking to get sales from that particular page relatively quickly? And believe it or not, that's got very little to do with the amount of likes you've got, because people might go in and they might live in the area, or they might like BMW, or they might have been to your store and like that store, and the average person is going to say, oh yeah, I've seen this page, they're invited by their friends or whatever, and they'll come in and they'll like the page, and then they can go away and never come back. I mean, I'll bring up, this is something I'm going to talk to next week, and they've got 28,000 likes, and they're doing a pretty good job in here, right? But the interaction with these likes is very minimal. What I'm saying, a better way of saying it is, because just because you post something doesn't mean that 28,000 people are going to see this, or it's even going to be put on their wall on their Facebook wall or anywhere near them if they're not there, because that's just not the way that it works. I've actually gone into the back end of this site because I've got some software that I can do that, and they're probably getting exposure on a regular basis to 400 or 500 of these 28,000 likes. You know, and the reason is that Facebook is a business, and you know they want you to be spending money with them, and then it gets back to then how do you spend the money with them, and how do you get the right effect for them? It's the most efficient economical advertising I've ever seen, and I've been in marketing for 35 years. It's just mind-blowing, because you can run little tests to little segments of your likes. For instance, see, a lot of people spend all their time trying to get more likes instead of, okay, we've got these people who like this page. Now, how do we get them to interact with us? It's not just a matter of putting up posts or specials. It's not going to achieve enough. I mean, you're going to achieve, you know, the images are a big part of the key to this. It should be images attached to anything that you do, because that's what gets the most clicks. It's a massive amount of increase by attaching an image, and realistically, tiny bit more work, you can put an image to any post, right? And it's only minutes of work to do that. But that's just part of it, you know. So the thing of it is, you can go in there and there's ways of doing this. You can actually interact with these people directly, which is a way to do it with special offers. You know, the fact that they've come in and like you've made, give them benefits for doing that. Make them feel like they're a part of a community. And this is social media. This is what it's all about. You know, the sterile days of the websites to me are gone. I mean, you probably still need a website for credibility, but that's it. You can do everything else. You can shop. You can do whatever. Right at the back end of Facebook, you can have a shopping cart. You can do whatever you want. But let you know.
I didn't know that. See, you've excited me with this whole concept, because I wasn't also aware. Well, I didn't know about you could do the shopping cart on Facebook, but I didn't know how focused you could be in your marketing either until you explained it to me.
Yeah.
I find that so exciting.
I mean, I'll just show you something with this.
Conservative.
Yeah.
Compared to the old style of marketing, this is so focused.
Okay, so you know, people go, when I show people this, they go, what about the privacy? Well, look, it's social media. So if you don't want to be on it, don't be on it, because there's nothing. If you've got nothing to hide, you've got nothing to worry about. And the point of it is yes, we can see, who's interacting with this site, down to everybody. We can even, from there, if you wanted to build this, we can go from here and we can actually get into areas, and I'll show you this. We can go to friends of people. Oops, we already got there. People. Okay, so that's friends of people. Okay, so then we can go, okay, we need to make sure they're living in the right city for it to be our customers. So then we can go down into Brisbane, and those are friends of people that already like, like Facebook. Now, if anybody's watching this, if this doesn't excite you, well, I don't know what will, because we can target these friends of these friends that are already interacting or should be interacting with your page, right? But
that's amazing.
It is amazing. But the first thing that needs to be looked at, and what we can do in the back of Facebook now, everybody's got what they call a UID, right? So we can actually import a big percentage of those UIDs, those 28,000, into the back of Facebook, and then
what's an UID, Steve?
It's a unique ID basically that's relative to Facebook.
Okay.
So we can zoom right in. As a matter of fact, I can even zoom into to a particular person, and with a particular technique, I can advertise to even to that one person, and it will show up on their walls. Now, what's interesting is everybody sees Facebook and they go, oh, I don't take any notice of the things that are in the, the ads that are on this left-hand side. They'll ignore them. The point of it is now you can run, these are ads that are running directly in the newsfeed, right? And obviously they're not going to show up on everybody's wall, but I've either interacted, with copywriting or something else, so they know that. So they are targeting me with specific ads. So the same thing with anybody that's interacted with the site. You can go and you can design ads, and you can target them specifically to that interest. So let's use Super Butchers as an example. So they've interacted. So we drag those UIDs, and we design specific ads. We can put them either in the right-hand side or the news feed, and we can target those guys precisely for that interest. So, there's no other media you can do that. And the point of it is no other media other than social media. You can do that across all social media. But I just happen to be focused on Facebook because I think it's where it's happening right now. Any questions with that, Faye, really? I know we covered it yesterday, but I covered a few more things in here that you wouldn't have seen. Are you still there? I must have lost you.
I'm here. I just think I'm almost speechless. That I'm serious. I just find this the most exciting concept, because I used to spend, and when I had my last business, I used to spend a lot of money on Yellow Pages, waiting for people, of course, to find me in Yellow Pages, and the conservative old-style print medium, which was so difficult to manage and so difficult to get feedback on the effectiveness of that particular marketing.
Yeah.
I'm blown away by the concept.
Not only that, I'll show you something in a minute. We can go in and we can measure exact response to what sort of offers. Yes, you're going to be able to measure them somewhat coming into the store, but you're busy. We're going to know over a period of time what offers, if we're advertising directly to our fans or to their friends or whatever, or to general. See, my thing is you start off in an area, then you build it, and you find out what's working, and then you build on that. It's like you can test in so smaller numbers and so efficiently with a small budget, and then build on that budget. This is why it's suitable for any size business, because you can. Yes. I'm working with a little eyelash company in Grafton. Mike, a friend of mine, and we're starting it off with a small nucleus. Right now they've got 31 fans, but when I go into the matter of fact, we'll have a look. I'll show you this. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'll show you another example of this from a small business point of view, and we've just really started. This page is about a week old. Okay, so if I go into here, this is Vibrant Lashes. That we can see what this was their exposure last week of 100%, and we only just did a very, very small push on this, and it was a very directed push for a reason. We want to get people that are really interested in this product, right? There's no point just getting a bunch of people to come and say, hey, like our page, da-da-da-da, that's rubbish, So we'll just go into here with people who like, and okay, so there we are. So we've got, fewer than 100, whatever. Okay, so then we can go into here and we can go, and these are people that live in the area. So then we can go friends of people, right? Now that will be a massive amount, but what we can do then is we can zoom in to this area in Grafton. Okay, so that we've got more than 100, so we're probably 300 or 400 people that are friends of people that live in Grafton that have already liked this page. So we can target specifically to these sort of people. And obviously, being an eyelash company, we should really go to female. So it's still more than 100. So female,
yes.
that live in Grafton, that like this particular, friends of people that already like this page. So you can use your imagination to what you could do with this ad. Hey, your friend likes, and we're going to be doing this, by the way. Your friend likes this page or likes Vibrant Lashes. We've got some special runnings now. Pop over and have a look, like our page, and then it grows from there. Then what you do is you then you expand that circle out further, and there you go, and then you go from there, right? I mean, this is what I'm saying. And this graph search is fairly new, and I was absolutely blown away when I saw this. I thought, man, I just can't believe what I'm seeing here. The opportunities now. I mean, Facebook, even before this, the opportunities were massive. And we can go and we don't have to, I mean, this is just one technique. We can go in with a post We can post it and do it the right way, and we can promote it to people in an area to grow it right from the word-go without having friends or without even interfering with our friends' page, without bothering their news feed. It depends on the approach that you want. And this gets back to what are you trying to achieve, what are you trying to achieve with this fan page? And you need to answer that question, hopefully before you start the page. But it needs to be, regardless, it needs to be started, even if you're fairly well along the path. I mean, there's where are we? There's a fairly good site here. Where am I? Oh, I've gone away from this. So if I just go to BMW, and I think these guys do a reasonable job. BMW Brisbane, I've looked at this and that's why it's coming up. They don't have a lot of likes, but they're interacting reasonably well. But the thing of it is, they're not getting a lot of people, to really interact with this site the way that they could do. They're doing some. This is one thing I really think is a must: is interacting with people in the community. 7 Sleeps Till Christmas, 2 Sleeps Till Christmas. I also think this is social media, so that people just thinking that people are going to go there every day to see what their specials are or what their new BMW is or whatever else. Then they're just not going to do that. They'll get bored of doing that. So you need to find other ways to interact with them. It could be to do with community. It could be to do with a coffee shop that's opening up close to your premises. It could be to do with, storm relief. It could be to do with anything else. So that you
actually bring in your neighbours, instead of seeing it, as a competitive world. You're saying you actually promote the coffee shop around next to you or around the corner.
Yeah, hey, I just had a coffee around the corner here at a new coffee shop. It's fantastic. Pop around and have a look. This is their new fan page.
That's a brilliant concept because it's not so self-serving. Often people, are suspicious always of, look at me. But I think that's a very, very neat way of getting legitimately connecting with your client or your potential client, but it's not all about you. I think that would be a very strong relationship builder.
Yeah, and that's right. And look, it's like anything else. I mean, people go into this blind and they just think that they can spend a couple of minutes a day and learn it. You can actually manage these pages and do it in a very small period of time once you know what you need to do. That's the point. I mean, you can, depending on the size of the business and how busy you are and what you want to do with it. So really you can go from the small business, the coffee shop or the eyelash person to the BMW to the super butchers, and we're going to have staff doing that or whatever, and depending on the size of your advertising budget, what you want to do, what you want to allocate. But getting back to that is everything that is done in here is measurable. So you can look at it and instantly go through and see what your demographics are. Who's responding to the page, who's not responding to the page, what are they looking at? So then you can actually think about it and go, okay, matter of fact, let me pull something up here. I'll just quickly, I know we're a little bit short of time here, Faye, but I don't want to, let me just go into somebody who I've been doing a little bit of work with them. If we look to Insights, it's a bit slow because we've got GoToMeeting going. So we can look at, the interaction, likes. We can look at, what's happening. We can look at, this week, last week. We can look at the likes, how the likes are growing, which to me, as you know, isn't a huge issue unless you're growing the likes intentionally, right?
Yes.
There's been a little bit of promotion going on here in the last little bit, but to me, this is the most important part of this. Okay, we can go in the back end of this, and we can see who their primary target audience should be for their ads. Okay, it's obviously the biggest proportion of people are from 22 to 34 and from 35 to 45. So then we know what we should be, what we need in the back of our mind. We can go, okay, this is what we need to be targeting, the primary people that are looking or interacting with this page, and obviously they're the customers, because, or a lot of them will be their customers. How do we target these people and get them to come in? And how do we target their friends, more importantly, and get them to come in? Does that make sense?
Yes, totally.
It is.
I think the potential is massive.
So, getting back to it, there's two. I'll stop flicking around here. I'm sorry, I've got a habit of doing that. There's two ways that I think this should be approached, and only two ways, is that you either get somebody that knows what they're doing to do it for you and start it and get it going right, and depending on the budget, depending who that is, or that you take the time and you get either you or somebody in your office or somebody that's working with you to learn this the right way so that it's done the right way. And it's not scary. It's not that difficult. You just got to know what you're doing with everything else. I mean, I've spent over 2 years learning this stuff, so I can compact it into a small area. But regardless, getting back to the point of just starting a page, getting 50 or 100 likes, if you're going to do that, either take the page down or don't do it, because all you're doing is, in a way, you're actually, instead of building credibility for your business, you're doing the opposite. I mean,
yes.
There's a certain thing that the way that you need to handle images that you upload. I mean, Facebook pages are now ranking in Google and sometimes ahead of the website, right? So
Really?
therefore, that is the front window of your store. So it needs to be taken time and effort, and how you get it to rank that way is proper use of images, proper use of videos, proper use of ads. And here's the other thing: if the ads aren't done effectively and you're not getting a decent response on ads that you're doing, what will happen is the next time or down the track, what will happen is the Facebook won't be showing those ads as often as they would have if people were interacting with those ads properly. So it's really important to do it right, because these guys have got the fanciest algorithms in the world. They know what's going on, and it's just like getting back to companies with reasonable likes. Just because you've got 28,000 likes again doesn't mean that 28,000 people are going to be seeing the posts. And that's one of the biggest mistakes that I see, believe it or not, is thinking that I've only got a few likes so I can't be effective, or I've got plenty of likes so I can be effective. It's wrong.
Yes.
You can attack it the right way from either end of that spectrum. Whether you've got 50 likes or 28,000 likes, you can make it work.
Well,
look,
I think that's brilliant news. Brilliant news.
Look, I'm developing a couple of products with this. One is directly into design that people for super butchers, and another one I'm actually putting together a training package that I'm deciding what to do. Probably, I think I'll start that with live webinars. Actually, I didn't discuss that with you. I'll probably do a series of live webinars that will encourage interaction as well, and that I'll attach to this sometime in the next few days. But I think it's important, regardless of whether people want to deal with me or don't want to deal with me. Look, that's fine. You know how I feel about that, Faye, with education, because you can't sell a secret. You've got to educate people and show people that you're real and you want to deal with them. And that gets back to the same with any business that's looking at this, by the way. I see that mistake all the time. People say, come in here and then I'll show you what we're doing. Or come in. No. Just be upfront. Show them what you're doing. Show them everything that you're doing. And then people will start to have confidence in you, because they'll realize that you've got, you know what you're talking about, including, and you can take that down to meats. I mean, if I was running this, or if I get to do this, I'd actually be, having videos of interactive recipes or something like that, even if there's somebody else's that is using me. You can use commonly used Facebook, and the ways of sharing those legitimately, of people cooking a certain cut of meat, right? I mean, there's so many different ways you can do this. You just got to sit down and plan it. I mean, people plan, or hopefully plan, a lot of every other part of their business, their displays, their presentation, their uniform, or their van, or whatever else they're doing in the business, and then they come to this and they're not thinking it out. So getting back to there's two ways. You either need to, hire somebody that can help you think it out, or learn how to put it together. That's the only two ways to do this, because to try and learn and stumble through it, 90% or whatever people will fail with this. And I see it every day. I mean, I see companies, major companies and hotels and things that are doing a good job pretty well everywhere else and failing in this area, which could really, explode the people walking in the door. And I totally believe that can happen.
I agree, and I just hope that people who hear this do take action, because I think it's just the most appropriate, the most cost-effective, brilliant way of advertising that you can actually get really good quality feedback as to the effectiveness very quickly.
And that's right. And
anyone who doesn't take it up must be foolish. I can't see how anyone could turn away from this concept.
That's right. And that's it is the concept. Whether you deal with me or you get somebody else to do it, for goodness sake, listen to this and take it on board and do it. I mean, that's the way I approach everybody I deal with. What I do is I walk in and I'll educate them and I'll say, look, tell me what you're doing. I'll tell you what I think needs to be done and I won't hold anything back. And then if you want to use me, that's fine. If you don't, that's fine too, because what have I lost? You can't sell a secret, So, that's the point of this. And we had this discussion yesterday and decided to do this webinar, and hopefully it's going to help a few people at least get a direction. And, if they want to get in contact with me, I'll give them the opportunity to do that. So, hey, Faye, thanks for your time.
It's my pleasure. Thank you for including me and keep me informed as to who gets excited about this. Because
hopefully it's not too hot. Faye's in Adelaide, so hopefully it's not still too hot down there, is it?
It's boiling.
Oh,
we've broken 1908 records.
Wow.
The year 1908. So that's how hot it is down here.
Well, that's crazy. All right, let's have a good day. I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Steve.